President Joe Biden has met every Israeli prime minister since 1969. Now he's receiving Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, a new face on his first trip to Washington. Bennett led with the message that Israel's defense remains top priority. The U.S. provides its ally with nearly $4 billion a year in military aid. So when Biden repeatedly delayed the meeting, the Israeli prime minister postponed his trip home. Bennett's visit comes at an awkward time for Biden, who is mired in Afghanistan, the worst crisis of his presidency so far. The meeting is meant to be an opportunity to build a personal relationship between two leaders that have never met before. But the two sides are at odds over the Iran nuclear deal, settlement expansion, and the ever-eroding possibility of a two-state solution with Palestinians.
Iran is the world's #1 exporter of terror, instability, and human rights violations. And as we sit here right now, the Iranians are spinning their centrifuges in Natanz and Fordow, and we got to stop it. And we both agree. So we've developed a comprehensive strategy that we're going to be talking about with two goals. The first goal is to stop Iran on its regional aggression and start rolling him back into the box. And the second is to permanently keep Iran away from ever being able to break out a nuclear weapon.
The Biden administration has made it clear that it believes an attempt to restore the Iran nuclear deal remains the best way to rein in Tehran's uranium enrichment.
We're putting diplomacy first and seeing where that takes us. But if diplomacy fails, we're ready to turn to other options.
Bennett, who assumed the premiership in June, has insisted he has no interest in rolling back settlement expansion in the occupied West Bank. And he has no interest in pursuing a peace deal that would end that occupation. While the Biden administration technically has a different policy, it remains a U.S. position that has bared little fruit in more than a quarter of a century.
The relationship with the Palestinians, which is, I know, very important to all of us.
But for Bennett, the visit was an attempt to build credibility and demonstrate that Israel is focused on the Iranian threat, not the settlement issue, even if it has to pursue its own path. Yasmin Al-Sabawi, TRT World, Washington.